let's go ahead and play the final call from Saturday. Hit that, if you would. It's historic. I hit it. Here we go.
Final seconds roll off the clock. Horn sounds, and this one is in the books. Vanderbilt, with the victory today, they move to 6-1 on the season, 2-1 in SEC play. For LSU, they fall to 5-2 on the season, and now at 500 at 2-2 in SEC action. All over with.
Yeah,
here in
we're good. Thank you.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I don't need to hear any more from Chris Blair. We're good. Thank you. Historic, because for the first time in 35 years, LSU loses to Vanderbilt. So remember it. I mean, something happens. That's Muse. That's for Muse and Taylor, first time in your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Historic. An historic call. LSU lost to Vanderbilt. Clearly a disappointing result. LSU losing 31-24, but it serves as a reminder. The floor, not only in the SEC, but in all of college football, the floor has been elevated and the ceiling has been lowered. And there are just no dominant teams. This resembles the NFL, where on any day, somebody can get got. And LSU got on Saturday morning in Nashville. There's two things that I want to talk about. One, of course, is the game and how it all played out. And two is sort of the bigger picture for this season and beyond. So we'll do that here as we start. Going into the game all week, Brian Kelly and his staff emphasized the need to maximize opportunities. I was on the field pregame, and I was talking to Austin Thomas, LSU's GM, and he told me Vanderbilt's opponents average 9 possessions a game. On the season, LSU averages just under 12 possessions a game. So LSU knew going in, they were going to have to maximize their opportunities because the way Vanderbilt played, there were going to be fewer opportunities. And lo and behold, it played out that way. LSU had 8 possessions in the ballgame. And LSU did maximize their possessions. They scored on 5 of the first 6 possessions in the game. For the first time all year, LSU got points on its first possession. In the previous 6 games, LSU's opening possessions, 5 punts, and an interception. The interception was the tip drill against Louisiana Tech. So you get points on your first possession. You score 5 of your first 6. The problem is 3 of those 5 were field goals. And the one where you didn't get points was a missed field goal. And it's just an illustration of what has been LSU's biggest problem this year, and it's the inability to finish drives. It's not moving the football. It's the inability to finish drives. Opening possession, you get all the way down to their 28-yard line, sack, Xavier Thomas drop, 3rd and 13, you blow a timeout, incomplete pass, 48-yard field goal. You get a touchdown on your second drive. On your third drive, this was the missed field goal. You get down to the Vanderbilt 37. You're moving. You got 2nd and 4. Illegal formation on DJ Chester lining up in the backfield. By the way, the play was a pass Trey'Dez Green that went for a first down. So instead of first down around their 20, now it's 2nd and 9. Harlan Berry for a yard, 3rd and 8 incomplete. You miss a 52-yard field goal. Again, you don't maximize your opportunities because you can't finish. Your next possession, all the way down to the Vanderbilt 23-yard line. Caden Durham, first down, 2-yard loss. 2nd and 12 incomplete, 3rd and 12 incomplete, 42-yard field goal. You want me to keep going? First possession of the second half was Xavier Thomas' incredible 62-yard effort. Your next possession, Caden Durham rips off a 51-yard run. You're all the way down the 1-yard line. And then what happens? You burn a timeout because Barry and Brown's jawing with a defensive back, and so Cortez Hankton wants to take him out of the game. They run Chris Hilton on. 2 receivers run off. Now you got 10 men on the field. So Garrett Nussmeier has to burn a timeout. You burn a timeout. You go out there coming out of a timeout, and Donovan Green false starts on a beautiful play design where you score a touchdown, and it would have been a 3-point game with 12 minutes to go. You would have been in a 3-point game with 12 minutes to go. Instead, false start, you end up settling for a short field goal. It's a 7-point game, and you never got any closer. Oh, by the way, also, after that, later, you had a 3rd and 16, and it looked like you were going to convert on a beautiful 21-yard run by Juwan Johnson, but there was holding on Weston Davis, which led to a 3rd and 26. Draw, punt, ball game over. You all know the score from there. They just can't finish. They are so mistake prone, and sometimes it's brutal penalties. Sometimes it's drops. By the way, on the last possession LSU had, 4:40 to go, Xavier Thomas gets dropped for a 3-yard loss. Then you get a 5-yard reception. On 3rd and 8, Barry and Brown drop, punt. You had opportunities. You get guys open. You have lanes to run. You hit big plays. They're negated by penalty. You get to the 1-yard line and you can't finish. They just can't finish drives. It's what killed them against Ole Miss. 2 possessions in the second half that started in Ole Miss territory, ended in field goals. Against South Carolina, fumble at the 1, interception at the 1. I mean, it's a 7-game sample. It's what you are. You don't finish drives. You move the ball. You have talent. You can't finish drives. And your offensive line gets your quarterback killed all the time. Brian Kelly said they wanted to win 1st and 2nd down on defense to avoid 3rd and short. Vanderbilt 2nd in the country in 3rd down conversions. At nearly 60% in this game, Vanderbilt was 6 of 13. That's 46%, so you did okay there. But you allowed them to convert 3rd and 4, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 6. They also had a 3rd and 2, and then they converted a 3rd down and goal with a touchdown. And then Clark Lee was really aggressive. They went forward 3 times on 4th down, converting 2 of them. 1 was a touchdown, and the dagger was in the second half when it was a 3-point game, 24-21. Vanderbilt gets the ball. They're in their territory again, and it's 4th and 1. They're right around midfield, 4th and 1. They decide to go for it, and they get a 10-yard play. They would end up scoring on Pavia's 21-yard touchdown. By the way, even after the 4th and 1, it looked like you were getting it off the field, but then Deshaun Spears' pass interference gave them a 1st down at your 32, and 3 plays later, Pavia was in the end zone for their final score. You even shut them out in the 4th quarter. You had opportunities if you could have put drives together and finished drives, but you didn't. Look, you were. I'm not blind to the fact that you were down Whit Weeks, Bernard Gooden, Jamari Butler. You lose Tyree Adams during the game. I mean, one of the real strengths of this team was supposed to be the defensive front and the depth you had. You know, your 2 deep at end was out with Butler and Relaford. Your best defensive tackle, Gooden, was out. Arguably your best defensive player, Whit Weeks, was out. I'm not going to minimize their absences. That's a lot to lose. And the defense gave up 240 rushing yards. Would it have made a difference if those guys were out there? Hard to say it wouldn't. I mean, everybody has starters and backups for a reason, but your depth was really challenged. I mean, you're seeing guys like C.J. Jackson out there running around for the first time trying to make plays on the road against a ranked team. Tough to do. I'm not criticizing those young guys. Just a tough ask. I mean, there was some positives. Trey'Dez continues to emerge. Harlem Berry for the first time. We got to see really get some action. 5 yards a carry, 11 carries, 55 yards. That was encouraging to see. Good vision lanes. I can't help but look back to Ole Miss and say, you know, without Caden Durham, what if they had actually given Harlem Berry 15 carries to see if you might have been able to establish the run? Could that game have been different? They didn't. Hindsight now, 2020, we'll have to look and wonder. But it was encouraging to see some of those young guys continue to emerge offensively. But you lose 31-24. You're 5-2. You're a 2-loss team in the conference. No team has won the SEC with 2 conference losses since LSU back in 2007. So improbable to think that you're going to go on some type of a run, especially with a sample size of 7 games. It illustrates what you are and what your shortcomings are that you just can't overcome. You have a leaky offensive line. You get Garrett Nussmeier killed. The defense is on the field too long. It's a shame because you have a lot of talent on this team and you have a lot of the pieces there to be really good. They just haven't been able to put it together consistently enough throughout the course of the season. And as we talked about, the ceiling is lowered. The floor is raised. There are no doormats anymore. And that's kind of the other part of this conversation, which is the big picture. You know, it's hard to predict LSU to run the table. I mean, it's laughable to think that they will. Mathematically, you got to get to 10-2, right? A year ago showed us you got to get to 10-2 to be a playoff team at large, which means LSU would have to run the table. Again, it would be totally disingenuous of me to sit here and tell you they have a shot to do that. They don't. The offensive line is bad. Nussmeier's getting killed. The defense is injured and giving up way too many yards. They don't finish. It's all the things. The flip side of it is, I would tell you LSU is capable of beating anyone left on their schedule. I'm not telling you they're going to win out or they're going to beat. I'm just saying they are capable of beating anybody else on their schedule. Like, did you look at the point spread for Texas A&M? Like, I thought that line would probably open up A&M 6. It's 1.5. The odds makers basically think it's a coin flip Saturday in Tiger Stadium. Why? Did you watch A&M this past weekend? They gave up 42 points at Arkansas. They held on 45-42. Like, nobody's dominant. Texas has their way with Oklahoma, goes on the road to Kentucky, who is the worst team in the league, and they need overtime to beat Kentucky. Indiana won by double digits at Oregon. Last week, 7 ranked teams lost. This week, numbers 2, 5, 7, and 10 all lost. Miami lost to unranked Louisville. You had 4 teams in the top 10 lose this week. Like, everybody's vulnerable. Even in the G5. Memphis, who was in line to be the G5 rep, they lost this week to an unranked team. UAB, with an interim coach. Alex Mortensen, coaching his first game, beats Memphis. So, I understand all of the unrest with LSU fans, and you are right to be upset. And my hand's in the air. I picked this team to win the SEC. I looked at all they added defensively, all they spent, all in behind a fifth-year senior quarterback, and I wrongly assumed that the issues on the offensive line could be patchworked with a couple of transfers and some really talented young guys getting a chance to start for the first time. Dead wrong. Offensive line has been awful this year. And whoever you want to blame Brian Kelly, you want to blame Austin Thomas, you want to blame Joe Sloan, you want to blame Brad Davis, blame them all. Because everybody is culpable to some degree. If it's the identifying talent, missing, the inability to develop the talent, calling plays to utilize your talent properly or try to mask some of your deficiencies, all of it. Everybody's culpable to some degree. So blame who you want to blame today. I'm not sitting here telling you don't point fingers and lay blame wherever you want. But it is massively disappointing for a season. Someone rightly pointed out this weekend that I said over the summer, if LSU went 8-4, it would be a cataclysmic failure. And I believe that. This season ends 8-4 or 7-5, which it could. That is a cataclysmic failure, considering all you have invested in this team to make a playoff run. And listen, you got 5 games to go. Let the dust fall. Let the dust settle wherever it does at the end of the season, and you'll make certain decisions about what happens. But the way you're trending right now, it is almost impossible to imagine there not being some type of change within this football program. I'm not talking about Brian Kelly. He ain't going anywhere. The only way Brian Kelly's going anywhere is if he decides he's going somewhere. They ain't firing him. So park that conversation. That ain't happening. But everything else would have to be on the table when you have a result like this. I get it. You've lost 2 road conference games against ranked teams. That's not an unforgivable sin. But it's the manner in which it has played out through 7 games that feels inexcusable. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.